We move on from that breaking news and we stay in the US. A senior African advisor to US President Donald Trump, Massad Boulos, says there is no military solution to the war in Sudan, calling for urgent diplomatic efforts to end the conflict. The advisor said the fighting has devastated civilians and risks further regional instability if it continues. The comments come as international mediation efforts struggle to gain traction and humanitarian conditions in Sudan continue to deteriorate. The United States says it is working with regional and global partners to push for a ceasefire and a political process. Let's listen in to what the advisor had to say.
Unfortunately, there are two parties. One may have committed much more than the other, but we have to work, as mediators, we have to work with both sides to get to an end, a peaceful end to this war. We all know that there's no military solution. This has to end peacefully through a negotiated...
Ross Feingold joins us once again. Ross, we haven't heard much in terms of updates about diplomatic efforts to solve this conflict as of yet. However, Donald Trump did say after his meeting with Mohammed bin Salman that he was going to try and broker peace in the Horn of Africa in Sudan. What are your thoughts of the likeliness of this happen, given the regional complexity of this conflict?
If President Trump is willing to get personally involved, that also would be a positive. We could hope for the best. It's better than the U.S. president taking the view that he doesn't care about this conflict. The reality is that this is one of those conflicts that has often not gotten the attention it deserves. I mean, of course, there's constant international media coverage, especially about the humanitarian situation. A lot of scholars have written in detail about the different countries that have lined up on opposite sides of this civil war, some supporting the armed forces, some supporting the rapid support forces. And that last point does add a very complex aspect to this and to U.S. involvement, because two very close U.S. allies, Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, are supporting different sides in the civil war. So again, this is one of those conflicts that perhaps has not gotten the attention it deserves. It's not the only conflict around the world that hasn't gotten attention. The Myanmar civil war comes to mind as well. These are conflicts that did not get as much attention as Ukraine, Russia, or Hamas and Israel in Gaza. But if President Trump wants to get personally involved, then there is hope for a ceasefire and maybe even a long-term settlement.
Ross Feingold, thank you so much for taking the time and joining us here on the broadcast. Always a pleasure to talk to you on these issues. We now move on over to Europe.